So the first thing you'll find when you do your journal is that you will do your where and when, your subject, your verb, and then in here before your object, which is your noun, you will find that you need an article, either a or the or an. How do you know which one to use? This video is going to show you very clearly. Let's take a look at this example. So here's my journal. I'm writing about 3 things that happened in the past. Now, here we have I and a lovely picture of a dog. So, is the subject a dog? No, because actually I'm putting these two together. It's saw, right? So I saw and dog, but we need to remember to put an article here before this. Now, is it a dog or the dog? Is it a or is it the? I saw the dog. No, I saw a dog. Why? Because we don't know this dog. Now, you could start here and say, yesterday in the park, I saw a dog. So we don't know this dog, right? Now, when we get to here, we know we are in the park. Now, when I say the park, you notice this is the, right? Do you know this park? Not really, but I'm saying the because I know this park and you're going to know this park. And if I say the, it usually means in this case that the park is near my house because we go to the park that's closest to our house first, or usually, right? That's why this one is the. So you don't know the, but you will get to know the park, all right? Now, I definitely don't know this dog, so it's a. So what happened next? What's the subject? There's me giving, so it's I gave. Remember to put it in the past tense. Now, is this the or a dog? I gave dog a bone. It is the dog because we know this dog now. Which dog is it? It's the one that I saw in the park just before this sentence. Okay, so here we don't have when and where because we know where we are and we know it was yesterday. And here we have the past tense because we're staying in the past tense. This is important to remember. And we have the dog because it's the dog. Doesn't look the same, but it is the same. The dog that I gave a bone to, right? So we know this dog. Now, what is it for here? What's the subject? Well, all we have in this picture is this dog, this strange looking dog with no nose. So what's the subject of this sentence? Is it the bone? Well, we could say the bone was in the dog's mouth, yes. Or we could say the dog ate. That's right, the bone. All right, let's take a look at another example. So we have to remember, and this is where it becomes a little bit tricky here, is that we have A, E, I, O, U. So when we have A, E, I, O, U words, like apple, egg, and orange, we use an. That's this one here. Okay. Now, you just need to find the most common A, E, I, O, U words you use and get used to putting an in front of it. Get used to is key. This is called use. I want to say practice, but I mean use. Why do I say use? Because it's in your journal. So what you can do in your journal is use these kinds of words, the A, E, I, O, U, the vowel words, in your journal. Because the more you, on purpose, like you want to use these words in your journal, the more you use them, the better you'll get at remembering to use an. It's annoying, I know, but it's got to be done. So when you do your journal, practice these ones. Now, we know these ones already. We had our dog, a car, but it's the same here with an, right? We don't know this apple. I ate an apple. We don't know this apple, it's just an apple. So it's one of many. Yep. So I have a car. You just have one car, there's many cars in the world. It's not specific or special. But here, when we say the, it's a special one or specific. Specific means that one, okay? So when we say the dog, in our last sentence, we said the dog ate the bone. We know the dog, and we know the bone because it's from our story. So here we have the piano equals, the way to think about this the, when you use the, is what we're saying with the is this. This is a bit of the tricky bit here. The piano that we have been talking about. So it's like saying the dog in our story here. When we say the dog ate the bone, the dog actually means the dog, here we have piano, that we have been talking about. That meaning is in there, we just don't say it. Okay, we know this piano when we say the. Okay, we know the dog, the specific dog. Now, on another video, I'm going to teach you how to use context. And context just means situation. And situation just means who, what, why, where, when, and how. And usually context means a story. And you're going to see why story is super, super, super important for your learning. The reason this is really important, this point here I'm telling you about context, is if you study, like a lot of people do, one sentence. Let's say I just give you this, and I say, is this the man gave the dog the bone? Or is it a man gave a dog a bone? Or is it, right? You don't know because you don't have a story. But here we know because I could just say here, I could say a man. Doesn't have to be I. A man saw a dog. The man gave a bone to the dog because we know the dog and we know the man, right? So that context, that story tells you whether it's a or the. Now, if you study like so many people do, one sentence, and they just put a gap, they just say, let me give you an example here. They say, ate, okay, I don't know why a man ate a bone, but is it the man ate a bone, or is it a man ate the bone, or is it the man ate the bone? We don't know. We don't know. So this is not a good way to study at all. You need your story or your context, and you listen, you think about it. You never very rarely listen to one sentence. You always listen to a story, and you always tell a story. You very rarely say one sentence. So that's for another video. I will show you that. But let's take another example. So I was walking down the street today. This is my journal, okay? And I saw a dog, same thing, right? She was the longest. This is the number one, longest dog I had ever seen. I knew that the dog, which dog is it? It's the dog I saw. I knew that the dog would be my best friend. Okay? There you go, same. Let's see another use of the. Doris loved the piano. Now, in the past, we saw the piano meant one specific piano. But in this case, the piano means the idea of the piano, not one piano. Let me explain in another story. Doris wants a piano, so we know she wants one piano. This is Doris's mom. Doris, do you want a violin? So one violin of many. No thanks, Mom. I want a piano. Why? The piano is easier to play than the violin. So here we have the and the. But it doesn't mean one piano, it means the idea of a piano. So we can say the piano, meaning in general, is big. The piano is heavy. The piano has keys. Okay? The violin has strings. It doesn't mean that violin has strings. It means this is how a violin is constructed. It's just like saying the car has wheels. It's the concept of how a car is constructed. So, Doris is talking about how pianos are. The piano is easier to play than the violin, because on the violin you need to press the strings very hard with your fingers. Okay? But Susie plays the violin. Again, this is not about Susie's violin. This is about she can do it. She can manage to play the violin. I know, but when you play the piano, you can sit down. So again, this is not the specific piano. There is no piano in this story, right? Because we started with a piano. She just wants a piano. But when they talk about the details of what a piano is, you can use the piano. And you know it from the way they talk about these details. Here we have easier to play, and here we have you can sit down. So another sentence is, the violin is hard to play because you need to press the strings hard. So the violin is hard to play, right? So this details of the violin. So her mom says, okay, let's buy a piano. Just one, a piano. Here is your piano. And Doris says that is a keyboard. It's one keyboard of many. And the mom answers about some details about the keyboard. Yes, the keyboard, not this one, just the idea of keyboards. All keyboards are sort of thin and long and light. So she says, yes, the keyboard is easier to move. The piano, if we were talking about pianos in general, are hard to move. The piano is heavy. Okay, so there's your other use of the. Use it in your journal as best you can.